know that in this day and age, and I know that some of you are not going to be surprised by what I'm about to say, that child marriage is still being practiced in this day and age. A child under the age of 15, under the age of 18, is being married in some states here in Nigeria, in some countries here in Africa, and even in civilized countries, in developing countries. And you will ask why. And when I hear information like this, or when I hear news like this, it brings to remember that there are so many traditional practices that we need to put a no to in this day and age. I'm going to be sharing a few of them in this video. I'm going to be talking about traditional practices that we need to put a stop to, and we need your voice, we need my voice to put an end to this, because it's so sad, it's so saddening to be hearing this information in this day and age. So in many cultures, it is some cultural practices to give a child out in marriage. Some might be because maybe the parents were owing a debt and they are using their daughter to pay off the debt, so they marry their daughter off, to secure the daughter's future, to secure the family financial status. Or if the family is like, they can't manage financially, they give up one of their daughter in marriage to have a better family economy. And this is so sad that, this still comes down to the fact that, we still need to amplify more information about the girl's rights, the child rights, the girl's child rights. We need to amplify more we need to amplify more advocacy about it, because you'll be surprised that in some families you'll be hearing, she's already a mother, and you'll be hearing who is the mother, a 15-year-old child, already has 2 kids. It's not that is 20 years old, already has 4 kids, and you begin to add up. That's what age this 20-year-old woman has a child. At what age? So that means she must have started, she must have been put in a family where at the age of 14, 13, and this child, we have to mother a child at that very young age. And please, it's our responsibility to make things work for ourselves and for the nation that we find ourselves. So please, child marriage often results in early pregnancy, health complications. It results in interrupted education, limited opportunity for personal growth, for the family growth, because a girl that is still a child brought into a family where she's married to a man, and when it comes to our child education, our own child too will also suffer it, because our child will not be properly educated. The cycle of this whole child marriage might still repeat itself, because our female child might be put in a family way, or also our male child will also be forced to also marry another child. In some cultures, you see some people that you say a child that is 16, a male marrying a child that is 13. Please, even if she has breasts, he is looking mature. If he's still under 18, he's still a child. And a 18-year-old child that might not even know how to cater to herself. I remember I keep asking myself that at 18, I still could not figure out what my life is about. So imagine someone that is 12 years old, might not even know what she wants or what he wants. Someone that is 13, someone that is 10, might not know what he wants or what she wants. In some family, they will marry up the child early, even before the age of 10. And they say when the child starts a menstrual cycle, the girl will start having sexual intercourse with her. You will see many of these children, they've lost their sense of responsibility to life. They've lost themselves, because some parents are like, their family economy is poor, so they want to marry the child off. Another issue, another traditional practices that we need to stop, harmful practices, is female genital mutilation. This is when a child is being caught in a private area, where there's in some countries, this is like a right, and they do a big ceremony in which the female genital mutilation ceremony is even higher than the traditional right ceremony of marriage, engagement rights. It is even higher, where they celebrate, where they are cutting the female vaginal area. Imagine the pain. Do you know that they still practice this thing even in developed countries, where people that come from maybe some developing countries where they practice this act, go to a developed country and they still practice this same act. And trust me, maybe a doctor, some people use doctors, some educated doctors still practice this act. They bring the doula, the person that will practice the act for the child, that will cut the vaginal area. Some will even cut all the labia majora, labia minora, you know, some of these parts, we stitch it together in some women. You'll be so sad. Like, I didn't teach you, I can't even put the pictures in this video because of how sensitive it is, but I'll tell you to Google female genital mutilation, read more about it. You'll be shocked that a child is being put through this because, you know, the parents are trying to celebrate their culture. And trust me, female genital mutilation or female genital cutting, it has no health benefit. It has no health benefit, and it even poses severe risk to the child. It can lead to chronic pain, infection, complication during childbirth, psychological trauma in which the child remember the pain. I was seeing a documentary on BBC one day where a lady that she must be in her 30s said sometimes she still remember the trauma of when she was being genitally mutilated. Maybe she was under the age of 10, but she remembers it, and she's in her 30s. So imagine that woman have to deal with that pain forever. And please don't say it's our culture and that is how things have been done. And I believe that every man watching this video, you have the sole responsibility to make sure that, you know, this practice is not carried out in your family. If you can stop the one in your family, then we are helping a family at a time. We should not just put the responsibility on the government. Even if the government bans it, it is already indebted in some cultures. And you'll be surprised that even those girls too, some of them are looking forward to being mutilated, to being going through pain, in which this thing is so sad and it's so painful. Their clitoris is being cut off. They can never express any sexual urge. They can never enjoy anything when they're having sex with their husband. They can't just go and Google these things. Please read more about it. Another thing that in which I feel like, you know, a culture that we need to put a stop to, a traditional practice culture, I know you are going to come for me, is polygamy, in which a man marries more than one wife. Then you take up the responsibility, you take up the power from that woman, and you shatter it. I don't know if men really understand what polygamy does to the psychology of a woman. You are telling her that she's not enough. You are telling her she's not enough to satisfy you. You are telling her that, oh, she's not really that relevant. Somebody else can replace you. Or somebody else can replace your child. That means our security in that home is threatened. Our health in that home is threatened. Our stand in that home is threatened. She's at risk of getting sexually transmitted infection or diseases, because when a man sleeping with more than one wife, we don't know whether maybe one of the wives is also sleeping with somebody else, and they will now bring that sexually transmitted infection home. So some men maybe got an infection from one of their wives and we pass it to all the other women. I've seen a woman living with HIV, which she got from her husband because her husband sleeps with the other wives, and the other wives, one of them had it and spread it to all the 3 wives. So imagine, let's say she said she's not sleeping with her husband. That's why we say, you are denying me of my rights. But if you think I'm going to deny you of your rights, you have married not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4 women, and you're expecting that woman to still have sexual intercourse with you, then, uncle, go and sit down with yourself and think about it. Think about it. Do you want to get a sexually transmitted infection? Do you want to threaten her life? So I will say, please and please, these things are actually indebted into some cultures. In some culture, it's actually an habit for the husband to, you know, express violence towards the wife. In some culture, the women see it as the right of the husband to either beat them, slap them. If he has not beaten them, if he has not slapped them, there is not man enough. Anti-bulldozer, anti-clothes, that they can punch. Well done, ma. So please and please, bear guy that are watching this video, don't be in this kind of situation. And if you're a man that you are of the habit of always beating your wife, of always talking her down emotionally, of always talking her down psychologically, please and please work on it. Work on it. You are not, life does not revolve around you. Don't threaten the life of somebody else's daughter. Don't let her feel so lonely with her life. Don't let her feel as if her life, she's not relevant in this world. Please and please work on it. Work on yourself. And women too, you to also work on yourself. If you're also the one expressing violence towards your spouse, because it goes both ways, I would say you to also work on yourself. Please work on yourself. Another issue, another traditional practice, the last one I'm going to be talking about, no, not the last one, second to the last one, is on purity test. You'll be so, this purity testing used to get me angry. In some homes, some family, if the mother wants to check if the daughter is still a virgin, they will go and buy egg and pass it through the vaginal area. If the thing does not break, they say she's not a virgin, she's still a virgin. But if it breaks, you mean you are passing egg, that big size stuff, through the vaginal area of your child, and she will not be in pain, and the thing will not wear out one day. Please now, I mean, is a thin tissue that can be worn out even due to exercise, due to stress. By the time a woman gets old over the years, the area might worn out, might be torn, might tear away. So please and please, all these purity tests, you're trying to say that I say virgin. You will take some of them will take ruler, we pass it through, we take stick, pass it through. Is she a goat? Like, you people should be thinking about these things. And it's so sad because these things are usually done to the women. This one of all these practices, and we say that yes, they're indebted in culture, but these things are being enforced by people that are not going to experience this, people like the male gender or the older women that have been there, done that. So please and please work on it. I'm saying work on it, but please, we have to work on it. The last but not the least is widowhood practices. I know this one is not surprising. It is even being practiced in my country, Nigeria, where if a spouse dies, the wife have to shave her hair. She has to not bathe for a certain number of days. We have to wear a certain number of clothes. But like, you listen, I'm like, really, in this 21st century, or is it our 22nd or 23rd century? Like, why is this thing still happening? Or preference for male child? Like, there was a lot of harmful culture where if the woman did not give her to a male child, you see some families where they are giving her to 4, 5, 6 girls to you, and you yourself, you didn't know that they are living for a male child. When you start seeing girls, and research studies have shown that a girl child tends to have more siblings than a boy child. So if a girl child is the firstborn or the secondborn, she tends to have more siblings that they will get to try to have more child. But if the boy child is the firstborn and secondborn, they might leave it and say, there is no need. But I think in this day and age, things are changing. But you also be surprised that even the educated ones are also the ones sharing up these practices, these widowhood practices. You see some in-laws saying, she must go through it. They must shave her head. We must cut all our brother's property. Really? This lady also labored with your brother. Let her also enjoy the property she also labored for, or labored with your brother for. So I'll say, if you have any other traditional practices that I think I did not mention in this video, share it down below. Let us educate ourselves, and let us, I'll also do more videos on how we can also create more advocacies in this regard, because this thing is really indebted in culture, and really touching culture is touching the soul of some people's hearts, and we have to be very, very careful, because this is a very dicey conversation. I don't want to step on the foot of some people. So if you enjoyed this video, do well to like it, do well to share it, and I will see you guys. Do well to subscribe to my channel before I see you guys in the next video. So like, share, subscribe, make comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.